everybody, and welcome to my very first Q&A session on my YouTube channel where I'm talking about all things holistic nutrition and real food, and I get a chance to finally answer some of those questions that you've all been asking me about eating healthy with real food. I'm going to start my very first one on smoothies because everybody asks me about smoothies since I drink them pretty much every day and I take lots of pictures of them. So I'm happy to start with smoothies. I got a lot of questions coming in. I'm going to start with my very first one, which is, what are your favorite superfoods to include in your smoothies? And now this one is kind of easy and kind of hard because I have tons of them that I keep in my freezer and my fridge. But you know, so where to begin really? But I do have a couple of favorites that I go to all the time, which are flax seeds and chia seeds. That happens every day, and they're ground, so they're just much more easily absorbed into the body when they're ground up like that. I keep them in the fridge. Hemp seeds I usually add for protein, a great source of proteins. And when I want to get like antioxidant power, I do some cacao nibs or some goji berries. Coconut oil is a great healthy fat. And yeah, oh, spirulina, of course. If I'm being feisty, I'll add some spirulina because that has basically every nutrient that your body needs. It's a bit strong tasting though, so if you're starting off with spirulina, just start gradually and add more and more as you get used to it. And those are sort of my favorites. There's lots more, but those are my favorites. The second question is, what should the fruit to veggie ratio in a smoothie be? Now, this one's interesting because I don't really believe in doing a lot of math when it comes to eating real foods, because I think if you eat real foods, your body knows what to do with the nutrients and it just happens and it works like a charm. So you don't have to do a lot of counting. I don't count calories, nothing like that. But when it comes to the smoothie ratio, if you're just new, starting off, a lot of people recommend a 60-40 mix to get your palate used to maybe a little bit more plant foods that your palate isn't used to. So 60% fruit, 40% veggies. Again, that being said, I don't really believe in doing ratios. So I say just eat real whole food. Start with some fruits if you're new. Fruits are good for you. Don't worry about the sugars and the carbs in fruits unless you're a diabetic or you have blood sugar problems. The sugars in fruits are filled with all sorts of other nutrients and antioxidants and fiber and all kinds of other great stuff. So your body really does know how to deal with them and to handle them. And then add leafy greens when you can. Start with spinach, try kale or celery. Zucchini is a great addition. Even throw some carrots in there. So just mix it up. The most important thing is that you're starting your day with real whole foods that are good for you. And I have lots of recipes on my website if you want some. Okay, so the next question is, what is better for you, fresh pressed juice or smoothies? So this is not really a question that has a direct answer because there's not really one that's better for you than the other. They're two totally different things. Yes, they come from produce and you can drink them, but one, smoothies, has all the fibers left intact, which is fantastic because it's filling, it gets digested and absorbed at a different, a lot more slowly. And you can also put things like nut butters and nut milks and all the rest into a smoothie to make it a little bit more substantial, whereas fresh pressed juices are just straight up micronutrients, like almost like a shot right to your bloodstream because there is no fiber in them, which can be, a good thing if you want to be absorbing those nutrients almost immediately. So they have two very different functions in the body. They're both good. Not one is better. I do personally more smoothies because I use them sort of as a meal. And how can I sneak some greens into a smoothie for my kids? Well, you might have a fussy kid, but you also might have like a fussy partner. That happens sometimes. People, they see a green smoothie and they get turned off because it's green, and I don't know why, but there's all sorts of, people just have this thing about looking at green foods. I was the same. I was a super fussy kid, so I get it and I relate. So if you do have a fussy kid who just won't touch anything that's green, try adding a lot of dark colored fruits. Berries are great. So if you have like raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, anything like that, which are sweet and delicious and really good for you, throw in some spinach or kale or whatever, and you honestly won't even know the difference. And then you can experiment with things, like I said, like zucchini, celery, try some carrots in an orange and apple smoothie. The sky's the limit, but really if you do have to mask it, try the berries. That's a good start. Do I need an expensive blender to make a smoothie? No, of course you don't. But you do get what you pay for sure. So the more expensive blenders and food processors will just have a little bit more durable blades, so you can chop things like ice and frozen fruits a little bit more easily, or like a broomstick. If you had to, you could probably do that with a really expensive blender. But I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not really blending up a lot of broomsticks. So you can get by with a blender that is a little bit more inexpensive and that just does the trick. And if you're having a hard time, you just need to crush up, your ice a little bit more. don't put in huge chunks, or add a little bit more liquid. You'll find a way. There's if you do some research online, you can find there's just so much online, so many resources for you. I've done a little bit of a short list of some of my favorites so that you can just click on them. They're in the show notes, and it might make your life a little bit easier. That's about it for now. There's tons more questions about smoothies. Obviously, there's lots more questions about holistic nutrition, and that's why I'm super excited to be doing actually this Q&A once a week from now on my YouTube channel. So if you have any questions, please just email me at info@kimdion.com, or you can ask me on Twitter and Facebook, anything social media wise. You can find me at kimdion.com, all one word. Or you can just write in the comment section below here and I'll get back to you that way. And if you like this video and you want to see more of it, please subscribe, because that's what keeps it going. It's been fun. I hope this was useful for you, and I can't wait to hear what other questions you have for me. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye.